Hello and welcome to Tuesday night's football review. We're not going to talk about the UEFA Champions League fixtures. We're talking about the Premier League and the La Liga fixtures as we approach the end of the season, as well as the Coppa Italia and Coupe de France over in Italy and France. Let's analyze what went down in those league fixtures that happened in this Tuesday night together. Over in Amex Stadium in Brighton, full-time score between Brighton and Chelsea as a race for the European competition. Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. As Rossiniers' struggle continue as hosts surge into top 6. A fifth straight Premier League loss surely ended Chelsea's hopes of Champions League qualification, as they were trounced 3-0 by Brighton. Brighton replaced Chelsea in the Premier League's top 6 with a dominant 3-0 win over Lam Rossiniers' struggling Blues, who have now lost 5 games in a row in the competition. The Seagulls utterly dominated Tuesday's game at the American Express Stadium, and in truth, it was always a matter of how many they would win by after they broke the deadlock in the 3rd minute. After ex-Brighton goalkeeper Robert Sanchez tipped Kaoru Mitoma's volley over, the resulting corner flicked off Jarell Hato and landed at the feet of Ferdi Kadioglu, whose first-time strike deflected in off Wesley Fofana. Sanchez was bailed out by Trevoh Chalobah's goal-line clearance after a terrible pass out from the back allowed Carlos Saliba to tee up Jack Hinchelwood in front of a gaping goal. But Hinchelwood will get into the score sheet in the 56th minute, staying onside to collect Jorginho Ruter's pass before slotting past Sanchez at his near post. Chelsea has shown a brief improvement after Rossinier dished his 3-4-3 experiment at halftime, but they were out of the content at 2-0 as Brighton hunted more goals, with Mitoma and Kadioglu both going close. And Brighton did add further gloss to the scoreline in the first minute of second half stoppage time, as Maxime de Coupier's centre was stroked home by substitute Danny Welbeck. Chelsea's hopes of a Champions League qualification are now surely over, given they trail 5th place Liverpool by 7 points with just 12 left to play for. Brighton, by contrast, might feel they have an outside chance of reaching Europe's Premier League club competition, having jumped to 6th, 1 place and 2 points above the Blues. Chelsea have lost 5 straight Premier League games for only the 2nd time, having previously endured a 6-match losing streak near the start of 1993-94 season. It's the first time they have lost 5 league matches in a row without scoring, meanwhile, since November 1912. They did not have a single shot on target here and put up a mere 0.38 expected goals to Brighton's 2.17. Across each team's last 9 games in the Premier League, only relegation favourites Tottenham, who have won fewer points than Chelsea. And Chelsea's figure of 0.04 xG in the first half was lower than they had in any of Enzo Maresca's 114 halves of Premier League football as their head coach. Brighton, meanwhile, are unbeaten in their last 5 Premier League games, their best such run since a 6-match sequence that spanned the end of last season and the start of the current campaign. Full-time score at the Amex: Brighton 3, Chelsea 0. And now we move to La Liga fixture between Real Madrid and Deportivo Alaves, which ended as Real Madrid winners, Real Madrid 2, Alaves 1. As Mbappe and Vinicius' help, Arbelo's side returned to winning ways. Real Madrid moved back within 6 points of the La Liga summit after Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. helped them past Alaves. Real Madrid got themselves back on track as in La Liga, as goals from Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. sealed a 2-1 win over Alaves at the Santiago Bernabeu on Tuesday. After failing to win their last two league games, Madrid returned to winning ways here, but they find themselves 6 points adrift of leaders Barcelona, having played a game more. It was Alaves who started on the front foot as Tony Martinez's sting drive forced Andre Lunin into an early save before Trent Alexander-Arnold saw his shot blocked. However, after finding their feet, Alvaro Arbeloa's side going in front through Mbappe, who shot from the edge of the penalty area, deflected off Johnny and wrong-footed visiting goalkeeper Antonio Siviera in the 30th minute. Mbappe came close to doubling his tally 3 minutes before the break, but could only skew Vinicius' cutback beyond the left post. And he was almost made to pay for that miss when Martinez's instinctive flick struck the woodwork in the first half stoppage time. Nevertheless, Madrid pulled further clear 5 minutes after the restart when Vinicius picked up the ball and drove at the Alaves defense before unleashing a venomous strike that bounced past Siviera and nested into the bottom left corner. Brahim Diaz then saw his curling effort brilliantly cleared off the line by Nahuel Tenaglia as Madrid looked to hammer home their advantage, with the combination of Mbappe and Vinicius unable to turn Dani Carvajal's teasing cross home. Alaves did, however, look the more likely to score late on as Victor Parada's diving header hit the base of the post and the visitors got themselves on a score sheet in the 3rd minute of added time after Martinez flicked Antonio Blanco's shot into the net. In their first matches being dumped out of the Champions League by Bayern Munich at the quarterfinal stage, Madrid delivered a much-needed victory to keep their fading hopes of La Liga glory somewhat intact. And it was no surprise that Mbappe has his say, with his strike in the 24th he has notched in the league this season. He has also now scored 8 goals from outside the box this campaign in all competitions. His best tally in the single term of the best in 2025-26 among players from the top 5 European leagues. But Madrid's failure to keep a clean sheet continues to haunt them. They have now conceded at least 1 goal in each of their last 9 La Liga matches. Alaves had their chances too. They finished with an expected goals total of 2 from their last 19 shots, 5 of which were on target compared to Madrid's 1.63 from their 14 attempts. Full-time score once again, Real Madrid 2, Alaves 1. And now we move to Italy, but this time we look at what went down in the Coppa Italia semi-final second leg, which the first leg ended 0-0 between Inter Milan and Como. In the second leg, full-time score, Inter Milan 3, Como 2, as Susic caps stunning late turnaround to seal a Coppa Italia final spot. Inter left it late to keep their hopes of a 10th Coppa Italia title rolling on as they came from 2 goals down to beat Como on Tuesday. Petar Susic was Inter's hero off the bench in the 89th minute. Winner sent Christian Chievo's side to the Coppa Italia final after a thrilling 3-2 win over Como in a Tuesday second leg. Como appeared set to reach their first Coppa Italia final, having raised 2 goals in front of the Stadio Giuseppe Meazza thanks to goals from Martin Baturina and Lucas D'Acunha. However, after replacing Piotr Zielinski in the 60th minute, Susic teed up both of Hakan Çalhanoglu's second half finishes for sparkling wild scenes a minute before full-time. Como started brightly as Alex Valle's loose touch fell kindly to Baturina, who forced a smart stop from Jose Martinez, with the resulting corner making its way to Mark Oliver Kempf as a back post. But he could only head against the crossbar. And the visitors deservedly led in the 32nd minute after a well-constructed move down the right saw Ignace van de Bremt beat Federico Di Marco before crossing for Baturina to sweep home the aid of the left post. Tassos Douvikas then saw his headed attempt narrowly evade the far post from a corner, with Maximo Perrone then clearing Marcus Thuram's header off the line at the other end. But 3 minutes after the restart, Como doubled their lead through captain Dacunia, who raced onto the Nico Paz clever ball in behind before curling into the bottom left corner. However, Inter began their comeback when Çalhanoğlu fired past Gian Butez from the edge of the box, with his effort going in with the aid of the deflection from Diego Carlos. Martinez was then on his toes to deny Hassani Diao, and that save proved crucial as 4 minutes from time, Susic's delicious cross was headed in off the post by Çalhanoğlu, and the turnaround was complete 3 minutes later by Susic, who combined with Çalhanoğlu once more, taking a touch before picking out the bottom right corner to send the 9-time champions through, with Atalanta or Lazio awaiting in the final. And that's full-time score between Inter Milan and Como in the Coppa Italia semi-final second leg. Inter Milan 3, Como 2 in the aggregate with the same scoreline. Inter moved to the Coppa Italia final. And now we go to France, but instead of Ligue 1, we look at the Coupe de France semi-final between Lens and Toulouse, which ended with a Lens victory 4-1. As Sage's men cruised into the first Coupe de France final in 28 years. Lens will have the chance to fight for the Coupe de France trophy after cruising past Toulouse in the semi-finals and into the showpiece. Lens booked their place at the Coupe de France final for the first time since 1998 after cruising a 4-1 victory at the Stade Bollard d'Elys. The hosts got all 3 points in a stunning first half and will face either Strasbourg or Nice as they attempt to lift the trophy for the first time. Lens was awarded a 9th-minute penalty following a VAR review after Pape Diop failed Florian Thauvin, with the striker stepping up to coolly fire the spot kick into the left side of the net, leaving Kjetil Haug stranded. Thauvin was then involved again in the 18th minute as he drove the right before squaring to Alain Saint-Maximin, who curled a stunning effort into the right side of the net. Toulouse showed some fight just 3 minutes later, however, when Lens lost the ball in their own half and Emerson teed up Santiago Hidalgo, who bundled a low shot into the bottom right corner. Lens restored their 2-goal cushion in the 35th minute, though Saoud Abdulhamid fought his way into the byline before squaring the ball across the goal, and Mathieu Odo was left with a simple tap-in. Orson Edouard dragged wide as Lens made a bright start into the second half that then tapered off, but they would add some more gloss after 74th minute. Thauvin's curling free kick was pushed away by Haug, but Abdulhamid was on hand to tee up Adrian Thomason in front of an empty goal for a simple finish. And that's full-time score. Lens 4, Toulouse 1. And Lens reached the Coupe de France final. This has been an entertaining Tuesday night league and cup fixtures. But tomorrow, the cup fixture semi-finals will continue, while there will be a Premier League and a La Liga action set to follow. But until then, take care and good night.